What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BroTech Gaming Podcast. My name's Carlos,
My name's Sean.
and on this episode, episode 7, we are going to be talking about our favorite tech YouTubers.
Yep. This could be an exciting episode. We kind of compiled a list together already, like our favorites, but there's a lot of diversity on this list, so I'm kind of excited to get into this episode this week. So,
Yeah,
um,
definitely.
but before we get into that, this is kind of an interesting podcast, right? Because we're kind of like in between like New Year's and Christmas. You want to talk about some of the Christmas stuff that you got this year?
Yeah. So you got me a key light, so now you can actually see me better, and my video should actually be way better.
You look so bright and shiny.
So yeah. So and then my little brother got me a hat, which I'm wearing right now. Go Dodgers. My wife got me Stream Deck from Elgato. So I just picked that up yesterday, so I'm still trying to figure out how to use it.
Yeah.
I know you got me a lot of Pokemon cards during like the last 2 months. A couple
Yeah,
boxes.
that wasn't even supposed to be for like a Christmas gift. I think we are just buying it because we happen to be in Costco. But like every time we're somewhere where they have Pokemon cards, Michelle's like, "Oh, like text Carlos, ask him if he wants these. Ask him if he wants these." And like Karen gets mad because she's like, "You're enabling him."
I mean, come on, we're kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got some clothes too. I think my mom got me a sweater.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I got some pretty cool stuff. Michelle came in clutch. I posted some stuff on Instagram. But she got me a keyboard from this company called High Ground. I don't know if you guys have, I'm sure people have heard of them before, but I'm trying to like show on stream real quick. But yeah, you can kind of see right there, High
Yeah.
Ground keyboard. That's pretty cool. She got me a book that I wanted. She bought me a new RAM kit. So now I have a new I have 32 gigs of RAM for my computer. I was at 16 before.
Oh,
So
that's nice. And that's at 36, right? 3600.
3600, yeah, which is good. Which is good for my system. I don't think I need anything better than that. So, but yeah, the topic for this week we're gonna get into is favorite tech tubers. So, Carlos kind of started off with a list. I think I'm gonna let you go ahead and start us off, Carlos, on that.
All right. I can start off on the first one, and I don't know if you want to like jump back and forth between them.
Yeah, we could jump back and forth. We have a pretty similar like and dislike when it comes to most of the tubers that we watch. So
All right. So
bounce back and forth.
So the first one I have on my list, it was kind of hard to pick between first and second because I'm kind of going by actual like ones and twos for a list. So the first one on my list is Bitwit. He's been on YouTube for a while now. I don't remember the exact date when he got on, but he's been on there for a while. He's been making PCs. He's the dude's really funny. He really knows his hardware, software, all that stuff. He gets into vlogs. He hasn't recently. I don't know what's up with him anymore, but all I've seen him do is just like tech reviews and benchmarking and stuff like that. But his vlogs were really good. He had one where his cats kind of picked out what he was going to do for the day, and he ended up coloring his hair pink. It took him to like some weird like lunch, and then he ended up going to Vegas.
Yeah.
And that was all because of his cats picked out his day. And I think that was like one of his first vlogs that he did on his new channel, and that one it was really entertaining to watch. It's kind of funny.
I guess you can do that when you have YouTube money.
Yeah, and he was just giving out money at the bar too. He would ask him a question, he would just give him like $100 or whatever.
Funny, man.
And yeah, so I got my mouse pad from Bitwit, which I really like. It's really nice. No sponsor, but it's really nice.
Would you say that your current setup and computer case is very, very inspirationally inspired by Bitwit?
Yeah, I would say that everything from besides the GPU being mounted vertically, because he still has his horizontal, but everything else is pretty much the same. I'll throw up a picture and we can compare the two.
Yeah. That'll be
But
good for the video.
yeah, but I mean, other than specs, or like hardware, I guess it's pretty much the same. I know we have like different like CPU and GPU and all that, but
Mhm.
visually it looks the same.
Yeah. What would you say, like what drew you to him first, despite all the other tubers that were out there, especially when it came to you building your PC? Like, why was it him that was mostly your kind of like resource for that stuff?
I think it was his sense of humor. Like he had me laughing through his whole video, but at the same time, I was learning a lot.
Mhm.
Um, Mostly about like aesthetics and like he has like he had a couple of videos of him like rating people's systems. So,
Oh, yeah.
but he would do it as
Like a roast your setup or something like
yeah,
that.
but
Yeah.
he would do it as Lyle. So it was like his alter ego person, and he had it like the like Asian accent that he did, and it was really funny. And but yeah, like seeing him like critique everybody, I was like, okay, like I know not to do that, you know, not to do that. Like, oh, do this because it looks better and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So who's on your list?
So actually, I think it's my favorite tuber just because I generally are always looking forward to their uploads. But my list is Hardware Unboxed. Hardware Unboxed, they're from Australia, and they're pretty, bare bones with their content. Very professionally done. Um, very well resourced as far as the information and the content that they put out. It mostly just goes around like, reviews. They do a lot of like hardware reviews, GPUs when they come out. They're always the first people I look for GPU reviews. They do a lot of like monitor reviews. They do like CPU reviews. I think what I like about them the most is they do a lot of benchmarking and like, I like my benchmarks and I like my graphs. But it's kind of a good gauge for me to see like where my hardware like stacks up in between like the new stuff that's come out and then like older stuff. Like if I see that like my hardware is starting to trend down toward like the bottom of their list, I'm like, damn, it's time for an upgrade. It's like I'm not even on the list anymore. So I kind of like using them for that resource. They're pretty, they're not super humorous. But their content is really straightforward and very professionally done, and I just like the quality of their material overall. And a lot of Australian outlets are tech tubers, like Australia, South Africa. Um, there's a lot of them out there, and most of them are actually pretty good. So that's my top pick right now is a Hardware Unboxed.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know you like those bars and graphs
I
because
like the bars. Man.
yeah, you're always sending them to me, and I'm just like, I don't really know what I'm
Like, I'm
looking
not
at, but
watching. I like to gauge it because like like if I have a game that just comes out, like I want to make sure that my hardware performs the way it's supposed to. And the only way I'm gonna figure that out is if I watch like a YouTube channel and if like Hardware Unboxed has a new update with like, benchmarking the latest GPUs. And if a game I'm playing is on that list, and I can easily gauge that I'm hitting the performance that I'm supposed to be hitting. Because otherwise, like I don't know if I'm underperforming or if there's something wrong with my system. I can't compare it to anything else. So,
yeah, that's true.
mm. All right, what else you got on your list? Give me another one.
So number two on my list is TechSource Edgar. Um, I first started watching his videos because of his setup wars. Um, I've been inspired to have like a really clean setup. Mostly when I take pictures of it, it's usually messy all the other times.
Yeah.
But I've been wanting to submit my setup, but I don't. I feel like my desk is not good enough. That I want to get like a butcher's block,
Mm-hmm.
so that way I don't have that bowing in the middle because I have like that IKEA desk and it's like really cheap
It's
paper.
like a cardboard,
Yeah,
like a
it's
cardboard core.
yeah. I have a feeling that just one day I'm gonna walk in the game room and everything's gonna be on the floor because it just like caved in. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he has setup wars. People submit their setups to him. He kind of critiques it, and then I think it's only like 5 setups that he does in every video, and then he pulls like a winner. I guess people in his Discord vote on who has like the best setup, and that winner gets like a something, probably like a gift card or something. He does set up makeovers too. He'll watch like a really famous person, say like Pokimane. He watched her setup, and then he reached out to her to go and do a makeover for her setup, and she said yeah. So he made a video about that. So he went to her house and kind of fixed everything, but she moved like a month later, so she basically tore everything down and then started over again.
Dang, that's a bummer.
Yeah, so I mean that sucked for him, but I mean he still got the content out of it, so I'm sure he's happy about that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, like that's really what it's about is, his YouTube money. I mean, I'm sure he takes a lot of pride in what he does, obviously. But I mean, if somebody moves, it's kind of like, hey, it's like Pimp My Ride. It's like you got people that are on like Pimp My Ride and they deck out like their old like jalopy car, and just like, well, they're gonna sell the car. Like what happens after that? Like it doesn't matter because it's already been put out, it's already been published. So
Yeah, and then I read about that about Pimp My Ride is that they don't actually fix the car; they just slap like new paint and stuff on it.
so the car still doesn't run.
Yeah, like if it had trouble running, it's still gonna have trouble running when it comes out of the shop.
I'd actually love to see like a parody episode of Pimp My Ride where like Exhibit pops up. He's like, "Oh, we're gonna pimp your ride." It's like, okay, but I just need it to run. Like you just give me a new car, give me something that runs. I don't care if I have an Xbox home theater system out of my trunk.
Yeah, that's gonna get broken into. Like,
Make it turn on.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a little off topic, but
yeah, but I'm sure you guys can relate to that.
yeah,
Like,
something.
yeah, that show is pretty funny. So yeah, continuing with Tech Source, he does a video every so often about judging PCs, and but he does it not like in a funny way. He's very serious about it, about like cable management, how you set up your monitors, like where your PC placement is, if you have too much clutter on your desk, if you don't have enough like personality. And I learned a lot from him too. I do want to move my setup to the wall instead of in front of the window, because I'll be able to have a little bit more personality like in the background. But
Yeah, that's true.
that's probably going to be coming soon. But yeah, so my number 2 is Tech Source. The dude's funny, but he's also serious, and I feel like I learned a lot from his YouTube also.
Yeah, actually, I've been looking at more setup videos on YouTube now too, because like I've always been more hardware and then peripherals and style second. So now I'm at a place where like I can't really do anything to my computer. Like I do want to make my desk look cleaner. I've tried to go for more of like a minimalist style. Like I don't like a lot of clutter on my desk. I like everything to be very clean and organized. And a lot of that I got from like things like TechSource, because I'll watch like the setup wars, and I get a lot of ideas from that and a lot of inspiration from some of their setups too. Um, the problem is like I don't want to go out and spend like hundreds of dollars on the IKEA, like your typical like IKEA setup that everybody else has. Like I have, I'm more budget when it comes to the desk that I use, but like I bought an Amazon desk for like $55 on clearance, and it was like that's good for me. But I try to do as much as I can to make it look clean and organized, and I like sources like TechSource. I get a lot of inspiration from stuff like that, so I like the stuff that pops up from him. Yeah, and he's really like genuine too. Like he doesn't come off as like cocky or braggy or rude. Like what you said like about roasting. Like he's not even really roasting people's setups. He just gives them criticism to improve their setup, and I like that a lot. All right, well, I guess like the next tuber that I really like to watch is, I don't know, like it's kind of a toss up because they're all kind of like a mixed bag. Um, I spent a lot of time looking at like budget builds. I really like doing like the budget builds. So there's a couple of them that I have on here. One of them's called Zach's Tech Turf. He's got kind of a small following. And then another one that's sort of parallel to him is named Scattervolt. Those are a couple dudes that I like to watch sometimes if they put some content out, because they like to focus on like budget PC builds. They'll do like like $500 builds, $600 builds, like where did I get the parts? Like what kind of performance do you expect out of these parts? And it's kind of like realistic for like the general population, because like I feel like we kind of represent more of like the general population when it comes to PC. Um, obviously if you got the money, you're gonna buy like the best parts, you're gonna buy like the best CPU and hardware and stuff. But not everybody has that, so it's kind of nice to see content on YouTube that like more people can relate to. So I check them out a lot. That's Scattervolt or Zach's Tech Turf. They're fun to watch. Just to see what kind of like random like budget builds they can throw together and then see how it performs. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And I'll throw the links to their YouTubes in the description so you can check them out.
Yeah. Yeah, most of these guys put out like a video at least like once a week too. So there's a lot of they're rich in content to if you ever check any of these things out.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, my turn.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so next on my list is Linus Tech Tips. I'm not sure if you watch him. I've been watching him since maybe a couple years now.
Watching him for a little while. I think he's probably got like the highest viewership / subscribers out of any of the tech tubers. Like,
yeah,
he's really up there, but he's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
almost as long as Jay.
Yeah, I was actually watching a Linus Tech Tips video last night. It was like from 5 years ago. He was still like clean shaven. He was in China and he was making he was trying to make a video there about building a PC, but like I guess it turned out more expensive than if he would have built it like back home. I don't know why, but anyways, but yeah, so for Linus, I feel like he's very knowledgeable, like super like genius kind of, or he just like retains a lot of information when it comes to computers and mostly just tech all around. Like he just knows about a lot of tech. I specifically like watching his Intel upgrades, where he'll take like a coworker or somebody that works under him, and he'll give him $5,000. Well, Intel will give him $5,000 to do like a makeover for their room or house or whatever they want.
Yeah.
And he basically goes to the house and see what they bought, and it's usually computers. So like he'll have the task of building a computer, and then they'll like hook up the TVs and sound systems and whatever else they buy. But that one's usually it's pretty entertaining, because it's kind of like you're seeing what different people buy, like where their mind's at, like what, like even if they have like a really good computer, they still get like another computer like just to have. Let me see. So he owns his own company, which is like the Linus something media.
Yeah, they're like media group or media source.
Yeah, it's LMG, something like that.
Yeah.
And so he has a lot of videos where he's inside of his headquarters, and that place is, I mean, like I've never been there, but like on the video it looks pretty big, and it looks like he has like a lot of people that works for him, covering what do you call it, like apparel, and like he just came out with that screwdriver and the backpack and like the water canteens and like basically everything. He sells everything. He has a shop for everything.
Yeah, like his like brand has expanded so much too. Like what I've noticed recently from his videos is he's not even front and center in like the LTT videos anymore. Like it's actually his other people that work for him now that are putting out the videos, and he's not even the main person anymore because he's just like expanded so far. He's kind of like the main. I think he's probably like the top like number one source for like any like tech tuber that's out there.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to money, like he's pretty much up there. Like he's got it.
Money.
Yeah, he's still got it.
Like I'll take $1 million of Canadian money.
Yeah, I mean, he's also doing like videos on his house, how he built the house, how he wired the house. He I don't know if it's like 3 stories, because like he has the basement too, and he has that server room. Yeah. And the last video I watched on there, he has his PCs like in the server room, but he has like the display ports running through like the roof of, you know, the basement, so that way he doesn't have any of the PCs in his room, so he doesn't get like that heat in the room from them. But I think the server room was like overheating or something because they didn't have the correct cooling. So like those videos where he's like troubleshooting on how to fix it, they're pretty entertaining too, even though like I'll never have that situation
Yeah.
because, you know, we don't have basements out in California.
No, my parents had a house in Utah though, and they all have basements. So it's kind of interesting seeing how they like run everything to like one box like in the basement of the house. Because some of them were like hardwired for like a smart home and stuff like that too. And it was just like, I'm not messing with that.
Yeah, I mean that would
I'll
be
do my own
nice.
cable management at home.
Yeah, I mean that would be nice if I could like wire like the modem and router like in the attic or something, and then just have all the like the Ethernet cables like just run to all the TVs and all the like whatever needs internet. That would be
I
cool.
mean, you probably can. It's just, yeah, you'd have to go through the attic, and then you'd have to buy like really high quality like networking cables so that you don't lose any bandwidth through like the
The
length. Because
length, yeah.
it's like the longer the cable is, the less bandwidth you're actually able to utilize. I think that's how it works, but it works that way with like video source cables too. But I think Ethernet's kind of the same. You need like a good quality one. So
Yeah, and that all cost a pretty penny.
yeah.
So that's all I have for Linus.
Yeah, I guess like a counter to like, when it comes to like the tech savviness and like the quality of like Linus Tech Tips would be Gamers Nexus. I feel like Gamers Nexus is like up there too when it comes to like their testing methods and the things they review. They're pretty broad. Like I go to them for some it's kind of like very specific the things I'm looking for because like if you've ever watched the Gamers Nexus video, like if they're long, they're boring. I've fallen asleep to like some of their videos before,
Same, dude.
which I'm really glad they have their timestamps on there. Um, but they've got like so much content out there. Like they probably got that almost rivals like Linus as far as like how many different like categories they have for like hardware technology stuff. But I'll check them out for like cases. Like they do reviews on cases. They do things like airflow and temperature of cases. They'll take like a GPU and they'll completely like strip it down and like disassemble it. They'll put like thermal pads or they'll put like thermal like probes on there to see like how like all the hot spots on the on like the chipset are so that you can like like properly like thermally insulated if you're trying to like refurbish it or something like that. They do all kinds of like crazy stuff. They've got like a lab basically that they do all that stuff in. So I check them out sometimes. It's just their videos are long, definitely long videos, and you have to really like pick and choose like what kind of content you want. Which I guess that's how it is as you get like further down our list. Like there's some people that like no matter what, like they'll put something out and you'll just watch it. It doesn't even matter what it is. And then you get further down, it's just you kind of pick and choose like what's relevant to you.
Yeah.
Um,
And I know who was it? Gamers Nexus, they put out that the radiator video about the tubes being on top or on bottom. And I know that one got it
I
became
watched that
like,
video.
yeah, it became so viral, and it's like people didn't watch the whole video and they still don't understand how that works.
Yeah,
And like so many people like piggybacked on that video to tell you, and it's like people like they just don't understand, or they don't want to see like the right way to do it.
yeah. And it's the thing is like so technically like like I have a radiator in mine. We both have radiators, but like technically we don't have our radiators mounted like the optimum way. So like for people that like don't know much about it in simple terms, like you have a radiator that's kind of like a radiator on like a car or something like that, and then you have the actual like mount that goes on the CPU, but your radiator is supposed to be above it, and then you have these two hose lines that are like run down to like where the CPU is. and that's basically like the pump on the CPU that like when that CPU gets hot, it's going to pump cool water like back and forth. So you want your radiator to be high because like water rises and you don't want to have any like air bubbles inside of the hose line. So they say like mount your radiator on top and then like have your pump below it. But, like most people don't want to like mount it on top, or they have like RGB fans like I do. So I actually have like mine set like this and then the pump's like this, but I still have the hose lines high so that the water, like the air bubbles are still like where the hose line is, and it still like runs down to the pump. But some people will like flip it backwards, or they'll have their hose line kind of like do this, and you're getting like air bubbles like somewhere, and it's not able to like pump that water appropriately back from the CPU to the radiator. So I was watching so many videos on that, dude. I was watching uh like not even just Gamers Nexus videos. It was like Linus did videos, Bitwit did a video, Jay's 2 cents did a video. um, I was looking at like PC World and like Tom's Hardware and all that kinds of stuff online too, just to be like how am I supposed to mount my radiator? So that was confusing. So it's good. It's good that they all kind of cover very similar information too.
Yeah, another place that really covers it is Reddit. It's a really fun place to go check out that
That's
topic,
dangerous though. You gotta watch out for Reddit.
especially that topic.
Yeah, man. You get deep. Like once honestly, dude, once you get past the point where people stop replying, you can kind of like disregard like everybody else's input on Reddit, because like you could say anything you want to, and like it'll just start like a whole like wormhole of like crap on Reddit, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would recommend never using Reddit as a tech source unless you're absolutely desperate.
Yeah,
That's like advanced user recommendations.
yeah. So is it my turn? Your turn?
Your turn. You can go into more.
Okay. So next on my list, I have Jay's 2 cents,
Mhm.
and he does really interesting videos. He covers a lot of stuff that other people don't. As far as like modding like a case, like he was trying to do like a Star Wars case that he never finished. But it's still like in the background of a lot of his videos, just sitting there.
Still in the
uh,
background.
yeah, like, and I'm sure like a lot of people, like every video, like people see it and they're just like, so what's up with what's up with the case, you know? And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure he just avoids it and just moves on. Let me see. He's funny, but he has like a different sense of humor. And I don't know, like
It's a little dry. It's kind of like a dry sense of humor, but like it's very nerdy dry. Like he's
yeah,
really, really nerdy, despite the fact that like he has a lot of like hobbies and interests that are like outside of the general like PC world.
yeah, I
So
know he has like a car channel that he works on his car in the garage.
yeah, yeah, he's a big car guy for sure. Like I always think of like when I think of his videos, I always think of like his tires like stacked up in the background.
Oh yeah, that's
He just
right.
has like these racing tires like stacked up in the back.
Yeah, because he has nowhere else to store them.
Yeah, his big ass warehouse.
Yeah, I noticed that him as like a YouTuber, he gets a lot of clapback from the comments. Just a lot of stuff that he says, I guess, just like rubs people the wrong way. But I feel like that has to do with his personality. They just don't like his personality, so whatever he says, they're just like, oh no, that's wrong, that's wrong. Like
Yeah.
they have like a lot of input on his output, kind of.
Yeah. Honestly though, his like the difference between like his content and other YouTubers though is his take is usually pretty raw. Like he doesn't really edit a lot of his videos. I think he just probably out of all of them is like the most genuine in terms of how he expresses his opinion. He doesn't do a lot of cuts and he doesn't do a lot of edits. He does like his little edits inside the video. Like if he
Yeah,
says something wrong, he'll have like the little pop-up that comes up that corrects him. Whereas like other tubers would probably stop and like retake that or recut that. Like he just kind of goes and flows. Which is probably why it rubs people the wrong way, is because he's a little bit more raw with his take and his opinion, which I think I
yeah,
appreciate a lot more.
yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
I know it was a couple months ago he was doing a video on the GPUs. Back when the prices were kind of like declining,
Hmm.
and I think it was the videos on like the 3080s versus like the or not the 3080s, but the 3000 series versus like the 4000 series that was just about to come out. And he was telling people like now is the time to buy, like right now, because they're not going to get any cheaper. And I guess they did get cheaper, and everybody like just like roasted him in the comments, and he had to actually make another video talking about like, hey, like my bad, you know.
That sucks too because you're always gonna have those kind of people. I mean, I feel like the measure of your success is also measured by the amount of haters that you have. So, you're not always going to please everybody, and people love to hate, especially in like the tech community. Like you have a lot of fanboyism in the tech community, and if you say like one wrong thing, or if you praise one product versus the other, fanboys are going to attack the crap out of you. And I know he gets a lot of that, and he responds to a lot of people on Twitter because I follow him on Twitter, and he claps back at people a lot. So not a lot of
Yeah,
people do that.
yeah, I've seen that too. So that's pretty much all I have for him. I know he tried jumping on that roasting setups back when it was like kind of like a thing where like a lot of people were doing it.
Yeah.
His were pretty funny. His take was kind of like the same as it's kind of like Bitwit. They kind of did the same thing where they're just kind of like roasting it and like just saying what they could do better, what they can change and stuff like that. But I
Mhm.
haven't seen him do one of those in a while, so I don't know if he felt like it wasn't really for him and he kind of just jumped off that train. But it
Yeah.
was still kind of entertaining to watch the ones that he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I have for Jay.
Okay. One of them that I'll talk about, he's not as an advanced tech reviewer as, like the J's Two Cents, the Linuses, and all them, and Gamers Nexus. This guy focuses mostly on like peripherals and accessories. He does like like best five like budget monitors or top five like budget keyboards, stuff like that. But he's called Consumer Tech Review. He's only been doing it for maybe a couple years now. I think he's just over like 100,000 followers, but the quality of his content's really good, very professionally done. He mostly does like custom keyboards and like live stream peripheral type stuff. Like he'll do like cameras and key lights, and he'll do like a few like setup tours and stuff like that. Um, but mostly he does custom keyboards, which me and Michelle have really gotten into lately. So we've kind of have like this new love and appreciation for custom keyboards. So I showed you guys like the high ground one that Michelle bought me. Like that's a custom keyboard. It's like hot swappable. I got a couple more. Like I bought this one off of Amazon. I switched out the keycaps. They were a different color scheme for the keycaps, but this is called like an EPO maker uh keyboard. It's got like a knob on it and stuff. But this is kind of like custom, like you can change out switches and stuff. But that's kind of like a cool hobby that me and Michelle have gotten into. But we use, I've used guys like Consumer Tech Review a lot just to figure out like what's good, what to look for. Whenever he puts out new content, I typically check it out just to see what's going on with him. So pretty light stuff, but definitely more of a niche if it's something you ever want to get into. I feel like custom keyboard is a pretty cool thing to pick up as a hobby if you're into PC tech. So
Yeah, I know that's kind of time consuming though, right? If you're building it from scratch, because you got to lube the switches and all that.
it can be. I think the benefit to like building a custom keyboard is there's so many options out there. Like if you want to go completely like raw and bare bones and actually like lube like each individual switch, then yeah, like that is very time consuming. But you can buy like a set of switches online that come like pre-lubed. So for example,
Yeah.
I picked up these for Michelle. Um, this is made by a company called Acco. and like each box comes with like 45 individual switches, and each switch is already pre-lubed from the factory. So all you really have to do is just like pick them out, drop them in, and then figure out what kind of keycaps you want to put on there. Um, and that's pretty easy, and you don't have to get like super like deep into it if you don't want to. Like there's definitely like different levels from like beginner to expert based on how you want to build your custom keyboard. So
All right. So I have mostly like one more guy on here that on my list that I watched. The other ones are kind of just I passed through their videos. His name is Greg Salazar. He has a fixer flop playlist on his channel,
those are kind of
and
fun to watch. I like those.
yeah, I feel like I learn a lot from those because he basically takes PCs from people that they don't turn on, and usually they did work and then they don't work now. So he'll take them in and he'll try to replicate the problem, which usually it does, and he'll try replacing like each component to see what's the issue. A lot of the times it's the CPU or the motherboard, but seeing how he gets there and like his troubleshooting process, it's very like informative. So that way, if you know, if something happens to mine, I can kind of just go on that and try to switch out parts from, you know, like my wife's computer and see what's wrong with it. um yeah, that's about it for Greg. um I have some other ones, but I'll let you do the other ones, and then I'll kind of just ramble off on the other ones.
Yeah, that's cool. So I don't really have a lot more. I did have some like mentions in here that are there are channels that I do check out from time to time. But I don't. I mean, it really just depends on the content that they put out. So I like watching a dude named Z Worms. Z Worms does like benchmarking videos. His most like his funnest videos I think is when he tries to take like a really old ass GPU from like 10 or 12 years ago and tries to run like Cyberpunk or something on there. like like he'll throw in like a GPU from like 2009, and he'll set the resolution down to like 200 pixels, and he'll try to play Cyberpunk on like the lowest like crap settings.
Wow.
And it looks like Minecraft. like,
Yeah, I
like playing
bet.
Cyberpunk. So he's kind of fun to watch. He does stuff like that sometimes. I watch a dude named Optimum Tech. He's another dude from South Africa that does a lot of like reviews, hardware stuff. I watch a lot of his videos learning how to overclock and undervolt my CPU. When I got my Ryzen 7 5800, the temperatures were like really hot on it, and there was a way to change the curve, the temperature curve, or the curve voltage curve on there, so I could get like lower temperatures and like more performance. So that was Optimum Tech taught me some of that. And then another guy I watch, his name's Daniel Owens. He's actually a math teacher that just does uh like hardware, PC hardware content that comes out. Like he just talks about like news. He does some benchmarking stuff too when there's like new updates to certain games. He did a whole like a Fortnite benchmark on the new Unreal 5.1 update that added like lumens and shadows and stuff, and he was testing different GPUs. So he's a cool dude too. I like watching his stuff. So that's what I got on my list so far. You got a couple more people on yours.
Yeah. There's a guy named Random Frank P. He does the deals under $50 for the month, where he'll go on Amazon or different websites, and he'll show like just like tech stuff on there that can be useful. Sometimes it's not. Like I've watched a lot of his videos, but I haven't been like, oh, I need that. It's kind of just random stuff, I guess, because he's,
Yeah,
you
I've
know,
seen a few
random.
of his stuff too. I've seen some of his like tech under 50. There's some cool ideas in there. So
Yeah, so there's him. If you're looking for some tech under $50, I'll put his channel in the description. He does tech review also. I think mostly like on like cam, like video cams, and what do you call them, keyboards. I think he's like really into keyboards right now.
Yeah.
like a lot of mice, and just different stuff for the PCs. Another one I have is Senpai Gaming. He does a lot of tech reviewing also. He mostly focuses on microphones and cams.
He's more of
Um,
like a stream, right? He focuses mostly on like streaming, like content creation type stuff.
yeah, he's the one that's gonna help you like with your stream
Yeah.
with your microphone and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of his stuff actually.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. We actually use his Stream Beats. He's the one that came out with Stream Beats.
Oh, cool.
So we actually have we use one of his songs on our Spotify channel, like the intro and outro. So check that out in the description. Another one is Ancient Gameplays, which I know you watch.
I
Uh,
like Ancient Gameplays. He hasn't really put out much though recently though. I'm kind of like let down by the content he's put out. It doesn't feel like it's been as constant or as relevant as usual.
yeah, he does a lot of the GPU benchmarks and like the driver updates.
Yeah.
I kind of stopped watching him because like his videos now are kind of like on hardware that I don't have, so it doesn't really apply to me anymore.
Yeah, he's a it's kind of redundant too. I feel like he kind of puts out a lot of the same content. He doesn't really have a lot of diversity to his channel, so that's definitely kind of like a niche thing for us. Like if there's a new driver update, unless he's testing like the same hardware that we've been using, doesn't really apply to us too much. Like he's been doing stuff on like the 7900 XTX, and then he's been comparing it to like a 3090 Ti because I think he picked up like a couple Nvidia cards. But it's just like, okay, well that's cool. Like they all outperform my hardware, so good to
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
But he's really good when it comes to the Adrenaline software, though. I think that's what I like the most because he's probably the only tuber that's exclusively like an AMD person that actually puts out content that helps you with Adrenaline, because Adrenaline can be very complicated. Learning how to undervolt, overclock, how to like change certain settings. Like I learned a lot from him just from like Adrenaline.
yeah.
So
That's where I first found him too because I was on adrenaline and I was trying to like manually undervolt my GPU because it kept crashing. Um, I'm not sure if it still crashes anymore. I haven't tested it on like a custom setting anymore. I just kind of undervolt it and leave it, and it's fine. But yeah, I found that channel looking for ways, and he has like a really detailed what do you call it?
like tutorial.
Yeah, tutorial on how to do it. He even has a like a loading profile on there that you can download and just like import into your adrenaline.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me, so I'm thinking it's just my GPU has performance issues.
Upgrade.
Yeah, I already told the wifey that, you know, I'm gonna put like $1,000 aside for next year.
I don't know. I would probably just wait till next year though, to be honest. Like
Yeah,
if I upgrade anything, it's either gonna be like whatever the next generation is, or I'll get like a 4090 like at a deal. Like I'll get a deal on a 4090. But at this point, like the 4090 and above is like whatever's like next for me. Like I'm not gonna settle for anything less than that. So
yeah, and it's also has to do with the monitors too. Like I feel like I have to get like a 4K if I'm gonna get a like a better GPU.
yeah, yeah. Which that could be like a topic that we get into on another podcast. Is like I feel like what a lot of people don't understand is they spend a lot of money on the hardware that they're putting into their computer, but they're only rocking like a 1080p monitor, like 60 hertz, or uh like 4K 60 hertz. I mean, there's so much more to it than just what you put in your computer. Like if you don't have a monitor that supports the output, then you're kind of wasting your money. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. So
Yeah, I think we mentioned that on the past podcast, but
yeah,
yeah, it would be a good video to go over, kind of going over like what pairs good with each other.
yeah, just like a general, maybe kind of like a general tutorial kind of video. So
Yeah, that sounds good. So that's all I have on my list. Do you have anybody else on yours?
no, not really. I think we covered a lot. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of good tech tubers out there. What I will say is as far as like the YouTube community goes, they all work very well with each other. Like I don't feel like there's any like quote unquote like competition between tech tubers. It's a pretty cool community that they have. They all kind of feed off of each other. They all give you like shout outs to like other channels if you're looking for specific information. So it's just been one of those spaces that I've enjoyed checking out from time to time. Like if I have downtime or if I'm just like cruising in the car. I don't know. It's just one of those things I enjoy. So
Yeah.
I think we covered a lot of diversity in this list. So
I do have one more that I just thought about.
yeah,
Austin Evans. I don't know if you ever watched his videos.
I actually don't know. I don't know him. Who's
No.
Austin Evans?
Austin Evans, he does like mystery tech.
Okay.
So he has like this room that he shoots in, and I guess the crew will buy mystery tech, and then they'll give it to him, and he'll open it like in the video, and then he'll kind of be like he just tries to like trying to see what it is and like what he can use it for and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I kind of like stuff like that. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, he has a big following too. I completely forgot about him though, but
Yeah, the PC hardware space is so there's so much you can do with it. So it's cool that there's a lot of channels out there. So I'll check him out. We'll give him a little shout out. Put a
yeah.
link. We'll put a link in the description below.
Yep. So I think that's gonna do it for this podcast. If you are watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, like, and send the link to your grandma. She'll probably like it too. But
Just
yeah,
for the like.
yeah, just for the love.
Yeah.
So my name's Carlos. Thank you guys for watching BroTech Gaming Podcast.
And I'm Sean, guys. Thanks for tuning in this week. Catch you guys on the next one.
And Happy New Year's, because today
Happy New
is
Year.
New Year's Eve.
Yep. Take care, guys.
So,
Be safe out there.
yes, definitely.